Hey everyone, and welcome back to Wealth Wise. Quick question for you: ever look at your bank account, then look at the headlines about inflation, the crazy housing market, and think, is becoming a millionaire even possible for regular folks anymore? Especially now, in 2025, it feels like the goalposts haven't just moved, they've been launched into another galaxy. Well, today, we're not just going to talk about it, we're going to break down a blueprint. Because here's the deal, there are essentially two highways to that seven-figure destination. Path number 1, you earn your way to $1 million. Think big salaries, high-flying careers. Path number 2, you accumulate your way there, brick by financial brick. Now, earning $1 million outright? That's like trying to sprint a marathon, incredibly tough, super fast if you pull it off, but most of us will probably trip over our own feet. Accumulating, on the other hand, is the endurance race. It takes more time, sure, but it's a path far more people can actually walk, or even jog comfortably. So, today, we're starting with the accumulation marathon, because understanding this is foundational. Then, we'll switch gears and talk about turbocharging your journey by earning more. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Alright, picture this is you. You go to work, right? Doctor, engineer, teacher, firefighter, barista at your favorite coffee shop, doesn't matter. You trade your time and skills for a paycheck. That money covers your bills, your groceries, maybe a little fun. But if you want to build serious wealth, to hit that millionaire mark through accumulation, you obviously can't spend every dime. Captain Obvious, I know, but it's the starting line. Let's say you decide to set aside just $5 a day. Yeah, $5. Sounds like chump change, right? Maybe it's skipping that fancy latte or packing your lunch. That's $150 a month, assuming a 30-day month. Now, if you just stash that $150 under your mattress, let's call this option 0, the hide it from yourself strategy. To get to $1 million, assuming your money doesn't grow a single cent, you'd be looking at roughly 555 years. Yeah, you heard me. Not exactly fitting into our current lifespan, is it? Luckily, that's not our only play. Option 1, the investor's path. You take that same $150 a month, but instead of a mattress, you invest it. Let's talk about something accessible, like an S&P 500 index fund. Historically, and this is key, historically, the S&P 500 has averaged around a 10% annual return over the long haul. Now, past performance is no guarantee of future results, and markets go up and down like a roller coaster designed by a caffeinated squirrel, but it's a solid benchmark. So, $150 a month, into a fund aiming for that 10% average annual growth. How long now? Instead of 555 years, you're looking at around 40 years to hit that $1 million mark. 40 years. A huge improvement, right? But maybe you're thinking, wealth-wise, 40 years is still a long time to wait to pop the champagne. I hear you. So, let's introduce option 2, the Accelerator. You start with that $150 a month, still aiming for that 10% return. But here's the twist, every year, you increase your contribution by just 5%. So, year 1 is $150 per month. Year 2, it's $157.50 per month. Year 3, $165.38 per month, and so on. You're basically giving your investment plan a small raise each year, just like hopefully you're getting at work. Do that, and that 40-year timeline shrinks to about 33 years to accumulate your million. Now, before you jump into the comments, 2 things you might be typing. 1, but wealth-wise, 33 years. I want it faster. We'll get to that. 2, where on earth am I finding a consistent 10% return, especially in this economy? Let's tackle number 2 right now, because it ties into our macro-financial deep dive. Okay, that 10% S&P 500 figure. It's an average. Some years it's up 20%, some years it's down 15%. We've seen booms, busts, recessions, global pandemics, you name it. In 2025, we're still feeling the echoes of supply chain disruptions, shifting geopolitical landscapes, and central banks around the world playing this delicate dance with interest rates to combat inflation without cratering the economy. Here's the thing, market crashes, while scary, are often when savvy investors find opportunities. Think of it as your favorite investments going on sale. When the Federal Reserve, or other central banks, raises interest rates to cool inflation, like we've seen, it can make borrowing more expensive, slow down business investment, and sometimes lead to market pullbacks. Conversely, when they lower rates, it can stimulate growth. This monetary policy is a huge driver. Right now, in 2025, we're in a phase where global economies are trying to find the new normal. We've seen how dependent we are on global supply chains. A conflict in one part of the world, or a new trade policy from a major economic power like China or the EU, can send ripples through our markets. This isn't to scare you, but to empower you with understanding. Your $1 million journey isn't happening in a vacuum. So, that 10%. It's a long-term game of riding these waves, understanding that volatility is part of the package. The key is consistent investing and not panicking. And, crucially, financial education. Know what you're investing in and why. Alright, financial education plug done. Now, back to getting that million faster. If 33 years still feels like an eternity, the most straightforward way to speed things up is to invest more money. Let's ditch the $5 a day and say you can find $500 a month to invest. That's a bigger lift, I know. If you just save that $500 under the mattress, you'll hit $1 million in 167 years. Still not practical. But invest that $500 a month at our hypothetical 10% average return. You're looking at about 29 years to reach $1 million. Now, apply the Accelerator, increasing that $500 by 5% each year. Boom. You could potentially hit your million in about 23 to 24 years. See the pattern? More fuel, money, in the engine, and hitting the gas pedal a bit harder each year, increasing contributions, gets you to your destination faster. If you can do $1,000 a month, or $2,000, those timelines shrink dramatically. But wealth-wise, I hear you cry from behind your screen, where am I pulling $500 or $1,000 extra from thin air? My avocado toast budget is already zero. Fair point. This is where the tough choices come in. Two levers, spend less, or earn more. Let's talk spend less first, because for many, it's the quickest win, even if it's not always the most fun. Forget just cutting out lattes for a moment. That might save you $100, maybe $150 a month if you're a serious coffee fiend. That's good, but it's often not enough to make a massive dent. We need to look at the big three expenses for most people. 1. Housing. Your rent or mortgage. This is often the biggest chunk. Could you downsize? Get a roommate? Move to a slightly less expensive area? I know, it's a huge upheaval, but finding an extra $300, $500, even $1,000 a month here can be game-changing for your investment goals. Instead of making your landlord or bank richer, you're making future you richer. Think about it, many people buy homes they can barely afford, thinking it's an investment, but it becomes a money pit. Buy what you can comfortably afford, so you have cash left over to actually invest and build wealth. Or, radical idea, buy a rental property before your dream home, let it generate cash flow. 2. Transportation. That car. The average new car payment in the US, even in 2025, is staggering, easily over $700. Used cars aren't far behind. What if you bought a reliable, less flashy used car with cash? Or used public transport, biked, or carpooled? Imagine redirecting that $700 car payment straight into your investments. Your future self will thank you for not keeping up with the Joneses escalade. 3. DSYCA, dumb stuff you can't afford. This is my personal favorite. Those daily impulse buys, the latest gadgets you don't need, the designer labels when you have credit card debt, endless subscriptions. If you don't have investments, should you really be eating out 5 nights a week? Money is emotionless. It only cares about numbers. Prioritize. You get out of life what you prioritize, not just what you want or feel you deserve. Our economic system, let's be honest, often profits when you spend all your money, or better yet, go into debt to buy things. It's not your patriotic duty to stay broke to boost someone else's stock portfolio. Understand the system, use it to your advantage. Get rich first, then buy all the cool stuff you want without sweating the price tag. Okay, we've squeezed the spending. Now, let's talk about the other side of the equation, earning more. This is how you can really put the pedal to the metal. This path can be much faster, but it's also much harder and often riskier. Let's do some quick math. To earn your way to $1 million in a single year. That's $83,333 a month. Or about $2,740 a day. If you're making $60,000 a year at your job right now, chances are your boss isn't going to give you a raise to $1 million next year. Unless you're a top surgeon, a CEO of a major corporation, or a rock star athlete, a W-2 job probably isn't your direct path to earning $1 million a year. So, this usually means starting a business. Creating something. What does the math look like for a business to hit $2,740 a day in profit? If you sell a low-priced product/service making $10 profit per sale, you need 274 sales a day. If you sell a medium-priced one making $100 profit, you need about 28 sales a day. If you sell a high-ticket item making $1,000 profit, you need just 2 to 3 sales a day. Now, here's where so many people go wrong. They search Easy Business Ideas 2025, buy a course on dropshipping the latest fidget spinner, follow a blueprint, and fail. Why? Because business isn't like school or most jobs where you follow instructions and get an A or a raise. You have to innovate. What unique skill do you have? What are you passionate about, that you could talk about for hours? What problem can you solve for people related to that passion? Don't aim for perfection from day one. Aim for your first dollar. Then your first $10. Then $100. Then $1,000. Iterate, learn, adapt. The internet has made finding customers more accessible, not necessarily easier. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, these are tools to reach your audience. It takes hustle, dedication, and a willingness to learn and fail. Entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. One day you're on top of the world, the next you're wondering why you ever started. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. But if it is for you, and you stick with it, the potential for growth can dwarf even the stock market's 10%. So, there you have it. The 2 main paths to becoming a millionaire, even in the challenging landscape of 2025. Accumulating wealth through consistent, smart investing is the marathon. It's achievable for almost anyone willing to be disciplined and patient. Earning more, especially through entrepreneurship, is the sprint, higher risk, higher potential for speed. The beautiful truth. These paths aren't mutually exclusive. You can work on accumulating steadily while also exploring ways to earn more. You can cut expenses and seek a raise or start a side hustle. The journey to $1 million starts with a decision, a plan, and then consistent action. It's about financial education, understanding how money works, how markets behave, and how to make your money work for you. Yes, the economic climate has its challenges, inflation is a beast, and global uncertainty is the new norm. But opportunities always exist for those who are prepared and proactive. Don't let the headlines paralyze you. Whether you start with $5 a day or $500 a month, the most important thing is to start. Build that foundation, educate yourself, and stay consistent. Your future self, the millionaire version, will be incredibly grateful. What's one small step you can take today towards your $1 million goal? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you found this breakdown helpful and want more insights on navigating your financial future, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to WealthWise, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. We're all in this together, building a wealthier, wiser future. Thanks for watching, WealthWise family. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.